The New York Jets, 39. Cincinnati Bengals, 38. The Jets get their first win. They move to 1-7. Bengals fall to 3-5. Lots to discuss in this game. It was the one close game yesterday. The one.
At least by the end.
Game.
Yeah, like for various stretches of the game, it was not particularly close.
It was a look-away game. I call it a look-away game.
Yeah.
You look away, right? Every time, are the Jets going to make it interesting? No, they're not, because the Bengals, every time the Jets got somewhat close, like within a score, the Bengals got up 2 scores. Seemingly the entire game until they stopped doing that.
Yes.
But it was a lot of explosive plays from both sides in this one.
Yeah, 39-38. The Jets put up 500 yards of offense. The Bengals almost got to 400.
I think this was just bad defense.
Yes,
man.
it was.
It was
definitely.
Sometimes there's great offense, but sometimes you just look up and you're like, Breece Hall is running straight.
And even the times where
Samaje Perine is runing straight, and there's no one there.
Even the times where the offense has failed, it was they failed themselves. Like, it wasn't like the defense did much. There was a play. So early, the Bengals they're looking good. The Jets are doing the same old Jets stuff where you're like, how are they this bad? It's 4th and 1, and it looked like Fields checked out of a quarterback sneak to some sort of like Breece Hall wide toss play, which got buried. Like turnover on downs, loss. You're like, what? How is this the Jets? Like, this is so bad. Number one, how is he allowed to check out of something like a quarterback sneak? It's like, this is the play we've called. There is no checking out of this. This is what we're doing. And if he's doing that, how is he checking out to like a wide toss play on 4th and 1? But that happened. You're like, this is why the Jets haven't won a game this year. They're down 17-3 at this point, and he gets this. This play keeps them in the game. Like at 4th and 2 in the red zone, Justin Fields hits Tyler Johnson for a touchdown with an unblocked rusher in his face.
Incredible.
Perfect location on this. They needed that throw. If they don't make that throw, if they turn the ball over then, I think the game's done. Instead, it keeps them alive. And that was kind of the story of the game, that the Jets just about clung on to life long enough to then be able to get this comeback at the end.
That was the exact play that I highlighted. Like, if that play doesn't happen, 4th and 2, 15-yard touchdown,
yeah, the
game should be over.
It would be, I think. Because the Jets weren't really stopping the Bengals at that point. They were already, 2 scores in a hole. This would have been, I think that would have been it.
And that just made it 17-10. And this is what I kept talking about in a world where there's 7 games on. It's like, all right, the Jets got within 1. Well, then Joe Flacco hits Chase Brown. He's got a little Texas route. He runs through the defense to go up 2 scores again. Jets got within 8, 24-16. Samaje Perine runs for a 32-yard touchdown, right? So every time...
I didn't see who it was, but that was an absolutely disgraceful tackling attempt by the safety. Like, he went with the wrong shoulder. Like, he's one-on-one with a guy in the hole, and instead of... he's going... Perine is going to the safety's left, right? So you track that, and you hit him with this shoulder. Instead, he, goes across with this shoulder and just bounces off him because he can't wrap doing that. Just shockingly bad fundamentals.
Second-level run defense, linebacker, safety level for both teams, awful. The number of times the Bengals were just completely washed out of plays.
Did you see the
play? The
linebacker
level was horrendous.
Did you see the play where Chase Brown, basically mid-play, audibled out of a flea flicker?
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And actually,
I feel like I've seen that once or twice before.
I think a sneaky, effective play if you actually did that by design. He didn't. He did it because Flacco was about to get murdered.
Teams just did that a couple. Ben Johnson did that a couple weeks ago, the fake flea flicker.
Yeah, but this wasn't a fake one. This was like, I think he was supposed to toss it back to Flacco.
But
it effectively worked. Standing right there and was like, nope.
But it effectively works the same way.
Yeah.
That's why the fake flea flicker that the Bears ran and some other team ran it recently too works the same way. Like, you fake the pitch back and everybody goes to the quarterback,
right.
And you're just like, oh, I'm going to run for 15.
And you just reverse course and run into the gap that everyone's just vacated.
Let's get to the tactical decisions here. So as I mentioned, the Bengals kept going up 2 scores. The Jets kept fighting back. So the Bengals have the Perine 32-yarder. They go up 31-16 late in the third quarter. Jets come back with another touchdown. So they're down 15. Breece Hall with a 5-yard touchdown. The Jets then go for 2, right? So that's the first decision to go for 2, where they're down 15. You know you need an 8, and you know you need a 7. New age thinking is go for the 8 first. If you don't get it, you're down 9. You're still down 2 scores, but you know it early. So they get it. They go for 2 and they get it. So now they're down 7. The Bengals had an answer. I mean, the Bengals offense had an answer every single time until the last drive. Until they didn't. Until Flacco was sacked for the first time. So the Bengals come back. Chase Brown with a 1-yard touchdown. So it's 38-24. So now it's a 14-point game. The Jets come right back. This was one of those plays I'm talking about. Breece Hall, 27-yard touchdown. Linebacker, second level of defense, nowhere to be seen. So Breece Hall scores the touchdown. And this is the one. It confused the announcers once again. Apologies. But they corrected it later. Someone's in their ear at least saying, hey, this happens in the NFL every single week. But they're down 14. We did a whole bit on this with Seth Walder from ESPN. He's probably the world's biggest advocate for go for 2 down 14. And we can explain that in a second. But the Jets did that. They go for 2, and they get it. And by the way, both 2-point conversions. The first one that they got, Justin Fields, his scramble drill, he scrambles in for the conversion. The first one was a pretty good play by him. The second one was very close.
The second one,
very close, Sam.
The second one was called no good to begin with, right? So it's at the goal line effectively when he catches it, driven backwards. And initially they're like, nope, no good. And then on review, they looked at it and they gave him the 2-point conversion. I was pretty staggered that they overturned that. It looked inches short to me. And I certainly didn't see any angle that conclusively showed that's definitely a bad call. We need to overturn that. That's one where I would have bet a sizable amount of money that based off it being called incomplete, or not incomplete, no good, the 2-point conversion unsuccessful. Based off that being the call on the field, I would have bet a fairly sizable chunk that you're going to stay with that. There's no obvious error in that call based off the replays.
Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action. I thought the opposite. I thought when you saw the replay, because the ball just needs to cross the goal line, that is where the super slow-mo really helps the receiving team there, because you just need a little bit of the ball to be over the goal line. I don't know if the camera angle was perfectly up the goal line. It's still, to me, it looked like it was over. So when I first saw the replay, I was like, oh, they're going to overturn this, and the Jets are down 6. And that's what they did. So I wasn't terribly surprised. It was so close, though. It was so close.
I thought it was a few inches short. And again, given that it had been called no good on the field, I was pretty amazed they overturned that.
So the Jets are sitting here. They're down 14. They get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. So now they're within 6. Right, the nerds are celebrating. The analytics people, they're saying this is the right move. Why is it the right move? You go up. If you don't get it, you can go for 2 again to tie if you score another touchdown. When you do get it, all of a sudden now, what happened with the Jets? All you need is a stop and a touchdown, and you've got the lead. You've got the extra point to take the lead, and that's exactly what happened. They finally stopped the Bengals' offense. Sacked Joe Flacco for the first time on 3rd down. Jets drive down, and it's Breece Hall with the game-winning touchdown pass to Mason Taylor.
What a crazy play as well. It's like a halfback option pass, and initially I think Breece Hall looked at it and was like, it's not there, and I think he thought about throwing it away. Yeah. Then he thought about just running it himself, and then the third thing he decided was, you know what, I'm just going to, what the hell? Just tossed it in the end zone anyway and lobbed into the back corner, and Mason Taylor just mosses a guy. Was it DJ Turner?
It was DJ Turner, yeah.
That was like a very much sorry little kid.
It was like he kind of Aaron Rodgers zipped it in. He's like, well, the defenders, it was almost like exactly what you described, right? He's trying to figure out, do I throw it away? What do I do? And then he's like, defender's got his back turned. I'll just zip it in past him. And Mason Taylor did a nice job.
He just kind of fired it in there, and DJ Turner's just back to the ball, arms flailing against a much bigger guy, and Mason Taylor just little brothers him, just grabs the ball from him and scores. Incredible play by Taylor. Fascinating play from Breece Hall because it was 1st and goal. You had time, and the only thing that could be terrible is you turning it like an interception, right? Like if you throw it away would have been fine, running it yourself would have been fine. A lot of things, like everything that went through his mind would have been a reasonable thing to do given that it was 1st and goal. And instead he's like, nah, what the hell? I'm going to take a shot, and gets it done because Mason Taylor son's DJ Turner in the end zone.
So that ends up becoming the game winner. The Jets go up 39-38. The decision to go for the two, down 8 essentially, but down 14 heading into that touchdown, ends up becoming the difference in the game for the Jets. So kudos to Aaron Glenn, not only for his first win, but for making that decision that led to the win. They still needed to make a stop.
Yep.
Cincinnati, 1 week removed from Joe Flacco leading a game-winning field goal drive. And the way the defense for the Jets, for both defenses really, had been playing, there was still plenty of time for that.
Yeah, I mean, almost 2 minutes.
And then Princeton drops the ball.
Princeton drops the ball again.
His fourth drop in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yossi for Cincinnati. So the Jets hadn't stopped the Bengals the entire game until those last 2 possessions, really.
Yep.
A punt and a turnover on downs. They had forced 2 punts earlier, but they'd given up a ton of points, and they finally made 2 stops at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the defense showed up right at the death. That's a bad few weeks from Yossi. Those are critical passes that it wasn't an ideal ball location or anything, but you got to catch that.
So from a storyline perspective for both teams, let's start with the Jets. They get the win. They don't have to deal with the 2008 Lions, 2016 Browns, the winless seasons. No champagne for those teams, as I've said. But the Jets finally get a win. They did it without Garrett Wilson. Yep. They did it without Sauce Gardner. They did it in a week where the owner said Justin Fields has a bad rating and can't complete a pass.
That's the big thing. I mean, credit to Justin Fields he was asked about that, obviously. He gave a decent answer where he's basically I didn't hear it, don't really care. I'm just going out here trying to win a game. And then he did. He went out, got the game, as we said, critical play to keep them in it when they're down, about to basically be out of sight. He finds that touchdown to Tyler Johnson in the end zone. Fields made enough plays in here. They put up 500 yards of offense, so stuff was going right even outside of Justin Fields. But huge game for him that would have been an awful situation where your owner basically throws you under the bus. Your head coach ends up going with you anyway because basically you didn't have a choice at that point. And if you'd lost again to the Bengals and Joe Flacco, it would have been rough. Instead, you find a way of getting the win. You put up 500 yards of offense. You finally get off the schneid, and things are good for a week.
Yeah, and Fields in the offense, they've had 2 games now against the AFC North, against the Steelers week 1 and then the Bengals in this week. Now, knowing what we know about the Steelers defense and the Bengals defense, you got to adjust for that.
Yeah.
That's been a huge factor. Fields, every time he was pressured against the Broncos, essentially was sacked.
Yes.
And then in this game, he
wasn't pressured.
Wasn't pressured
at
against
all.
Cincinnati. And Trey Hendrickson was back. He's still battling injury, but we already know when Trey Hendrickson's not getting pressure for Cincinnati, no one else really is. Miles Murphy, the defensive tackles, Shamar Stewart's been back these last couple weeks. You haven't heard much from him after he had that really nice debut back in week 1. Cincinnati's defense was a big question. We were thinking maybe the scheme change. Give up 39 against the Jets in this one. They gave the Steelers their best offensive output last week. They have not been good, especially in recent weeks here in Cincinnati.
I believe nobody on that Jets offensive line gave up more than a pressure, which is massive for a game like this. And yeah, Trey Hendrickson's working his way back from injury. He's not 100%, but him not being a factor in the game meant that the Jets were not facing pressure at any point. And yeah, that is a huge variable for them.
So from the Jets' perspective, to get the first win, this wasn't the exact level of feisty. I thought they were going to be 20-17 feisty, not let's put up 30 against the Steelers in week 1 and beat the Bengals 39-38 in this game level of feisty. But the type of feisty, run game heavy, Fields makes some throws, makes some plays with his legs, and the defense creates some volatility, which they didn't do until the end of the game here. But Jets get the win, so at least they won't go winless.
Indeed.
From a Cincinnati perspective, all of the optimism that they pulled out from the Thursday night game against Pittsburgh, they were supposed to be hey, we got the Jets coming to town. We're going to go to 4-4 and, in second place in the division. Pittsburgh's got to play the Packers. We're going to be a half game out of first place.
Yeah.
Coming out of this week after beating Pittsburgh. Bears coming to town next week, then a bye. Golden opportunity for the Bengals. Instead, a disastrous loss, losing a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter and falling to 3-5.
Yeah, I mean, a huge blown opportunity more than anything else. Like the fact that Pittsburgh losing, it means it's less of a catastrophe than it could have been, and the win last week was more important than this loss. But had they been able to back that up with the win against the Jets, then you're exactly where you said they were. They would have been half game back, absolutely alive for an extreme period of time going through this division. Even if Baltimore goes on a run, it's going to take them a few weeks. So, everything would have been pretty good. And Flacco played well again. It's not like the wheels fell off the Flacco wagon and suddenly we're back to, there he goes. There's old man Joe with the 3, catastrophic plays or whatever. Flacco played pretty well, certainly well enough to win the game, had the Bengals defense shown anything. But yeah, it just goes down as a blown chance to really capitalize on those 2 great Flacco games.
Yeah, the Bengals offense still cooking overall. A bunch of short passes to Jamar Chase, 44-yarder to T. Higgins. Chase Brown looks much better. They got P. Ryan involved in the run game, and Flacco, like you said, made good decisions, spread the ball around. For the most part, they put up 38 points. Bengals offense was good. Their defense is a disaster.
Yeah.
And that's as much as we were talking about, hey, they're going to get back in the division and this and that, the defense is still a huge question. Blown gaps, and like I said, the linebacker and safety level for Cincinnati, combined with the lack of pass rush, it's rough right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets ran for 250 yards on them.
Yeah, it was bad. Anything else on that one?
Nope. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?